Oh, hello everyone. I'm in a new room. I'm not used to this camera. There we go. Okay. I hate this. Hi, I'm Pete Costanis. I'm doing another live video for Chicagoland. Welcome to my Greek friends and family. Kalos ήρθατε, είστε καλά, yasas. That means welcome. How are you doing? And hello. Okay, that sounds funny. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about my memories of the landline phones that we used to have in the old days. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, 90s, and I had a landline phone, and I still do in a way. I showed a picture of myself. I posted a picture of myself. Excuse me. That. Uh, that I still had a landline, because my mother lives with me, and she doesn't believe in cell phones. No, I tried. Believe me, I tried to get her a cell phone. No, she don't want it. Okay, so the other what we did is we switched over to digital, not the old analog, because we've always had problems repairing. And we had this, that was done about 5 times, and it was too much of a hassle, and we had to wait for the repairman. So I said, forget it. I discussed this with my brothers. Why don't we get a digital? We did. We had to wait a while. We had about a week to get it working. It does work. It sounds, the clarity on the phone sounds gorgeous. My mom's not really used to that. The thing is, we had to buy new phones, landline phones, and they're hard to find. Excuse me. In stores, you have to order online, but I did find some at Walmart. Yeah, I went to Best Buy. They told me that um, they don't carry them anymore in stock. They stopped. They discontinued about 2 months ago. So I then went to Target. They didn't have them. I was going to go Staples, but I figured, why don't I go to Walmart? Excuse me. I'm sorry. My throat is dry. I'm going to drink some water. That's good. So I did go to Walmart. I found them. I bought them. They come with 3 handsets. So we put one. We put the main phone connected to the modem, the gateway. Okay. We had to follow instructions. I had to register, before that, to activate it. Then we put one extra phone in the kitchen and one in the bedroom, her bedroom. It's not going to ring that much. We don't get any calls. The only calls we get is stupid ones, from India or guy. There was a guy, he's impersonating as a policeman. He wants money, donations. But one time I caught him. I sort of swore at him. I don't like to swear. And then somehow his voice switched from that to an Indian guy. So it was a scam. So okay. So I blocked him. Yeah, so that's good. So that's what we have now with the new phone. We can block people. Thank God. And then when someone calls, we can see caller ID. We can see who it is. If it's one of my mom's friends, we'll answer it, because some of them still use landline. Some do have cell phones, some don't. So it worked out fine. So we had to wait almost 3 weeks to get it all in order like that. I have a cell phone. My brothers have a cell phone. So that's good. So we communicate. But I told my mom, if you need someone to call, if you want to call one of your friends, please use my cell phone. She used it a couple of times, but she hates it. She misses the old landline, the trim line with the button, that. I kind of like it. It's nostalgic, but I'll get to that in my memories in a moment. So we're all set. So now on the wall, it's bare. No, there's no phone. We can't connect it, the new ones on there. So I'm relieved. We called tech one time, and he told us that the analogs they'll be done away with in 28. So in about 3 years, gone. So you have to switch to digital, I think. My question is, would people still have landlines? Would they still use them? Probably. Offices have them. Doctors' offices, or police. Yeah, they still need those. Yeah. The cell phones are personal use. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Before I get started to talk about my memories of the landline phones in the 70s, 80s, let me tell you about what happened yesterday. Uh, I went to a fan expo that was located. It was a comic book convention in Rosemont, Illinois. I went there. I've been going there for 30 years, and I go every on a Friday. Sometimes I go Saturdays. I don't like going Saturdays. It's too crowded. I get to a story in a moment what happened. So I went there, and I don't buy anything because I have all the comic books I have, the ones that I remember when I was a little boy. I still have them, so I don't buy new stuff really. No. So I did. So I got there about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Just walked around. It was very hard to walk around. There's too many people. They're in awe of this beautiful place. Most are from out of town. They never experienced. They walk very slow. You got to be very patient. Me, from Chicago. I'm like, "Ooh, doo, 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 I got to run," and uh, I got tired. I got something to drink. Then. I decided, to go to the autographs area. Yeah, why not? I haven't done that in a long time, so I figured I had some money to spend. Why not do it? So I met 2 celebrities. One was Rainn Wilson from The Office. Dwight, very nice man. I told him about Van Chicagoland because he used to go to New Trier High School in Wilmette. But he's not from Chicago. He's from Washington State. So his family moved there. And I told him about Chicago. He seemed very interested, and I told him I have this account. And he says, "That's good for you." Yeah, very nice man indeed. I got a lot of compliments from Facebook about, I posted a photo of both of us. That was kind of cool. Then I met Grant Gustin. He was the Flash. I didn't post anything about that. Maybe later. It's kind of expensive. So, but I wanted to meet him because I like him. I like the show. It's been off the air for maybe a couple of years, but I'm a big comic book fan. I like the superhero, the villains, the supporting cast. He was a great superhero. He's still around. So I met him, and I told him, and he signed my picture to Pete from Savannah, Chicagoland. That was cool. I had explained what I was doing, so because he's not from here, he's from Virginia, I think, and so he seemed very nice man, very nice young man. Very polite. Kind of shy, very shy. He was not much of a talker, so that's okay. I thought maybe he didn't like me. I thought I didn't do anything, but I don't think so. No. Anyway. I left the convention about 7 o'clock. The trouble is, for the past hour, I couldn't find my car because the parking garage over there is goofy. You drive around, and I remember parking like on a rooftop. The thing is, it wasn't a rooftop. It's like below that. So it took me an hour to find it. I had to call the garage to help me look for it, but they had to wait till 8 o'clock, to pick me up. So I was exhausted. Running around. Then I was walking on the 5th level and I'm looking to my right and I see, there's another parking spot. And I think I saw my car. So I had to take the elevator, go down, and I found it. I thought it was stolen, but it wasn't. Thank God. If it was stolen, someone would have contacted me or, they wouldn't let them in. One funny thing happened when I was at the convention. I got my badge and I dropped it. Because I was getting the thing to carry it. Somebody picked it up or like that, but it wasn't activated. So I had to go there to get a replacement. It cost $6. It's okay. I got it. They activated it. I was fine. But I had a great time. It was a wonderful. I love going there. I love going there. In fact, I might go. I'm in October. I might go to another one. It's a surprise, so I'll let you guys know what it is. Anyway, then I went to the Greek festival at my church at St. Constantine and Helen. I got there very late, about 8:30. They told me it would rain like crazy over there, and everyone rushed inside. I got some dinner. I met some people, people I know from the church. Very nice. I left about 10:30 or something like that. 10 o'clock. I was tired. I had a long day. I was exhausted. So I came home, and then I will go to the festival again tonight. For lunch, I'm going out with a friend in about an hour. I'm going to leave in about an hour. So that was that. So that was my Comic-Con report. Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about the landline phones I had when I was a kid. My earliest memory of that when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. We lived in South Shore. I remember we had a phone. I don't remember if it was hanging in the kitchen or there. It was black, I think. I remember the number. And then we moved to Roseland in 1969. We lived above a shoe store. My dad owned the property, and we did get a landline phone, and it was hanging on the wall. I remember the color. I remember the phone number. I was how old? I was 6. Yeah, I remember the phone number. I have that kind of mind. So we lived there for 5 years. Then we moved to Ashburn in 1974. Then we got 2 landlines. One in the kitchen, hanging there, and one in the basement. The color of the phone in the kitchen was yellow. I still remember the phone number. And the color of the one, it was sort of tan, kind of beige. Yeah, it was beige. And I didn't get many calls. My mom did. She let everyone know. So those days they didn't have caller ID. They didn't have transfer. When someone called, it went bring, and then you hang it up. Reminds me of the 2 Martians from Sesame Street. Remember those guys? They went bring. If you find it on YouTube, it's hilarious. You love it. I love those guys. So anyway, they would call, and the ringer was very loud. So we did that on purpose so we can hear it. And we always say, I'll get it. I said that, or "Parogo," that means in Greek. And if it was my mom's friend, she would talk in the kitchen. She would sit down. You would have the long extension cord, and in the basement, she would talk in by the couch and all. It was too far. She had to talk in the laundry room. We had a stove down there. The funniest thing about this phone is when I come home from this happened to my brothers. We come home and we call my mom. Mom, where are you? Where are you? She'd be downstairs. We go downstairs and we see the cord around the entrances to the laundry room. We know she's on the phone. So that's funny. And so we had those for a long time. We did not have one in the bedroom. That was a mistake because we have relatives in Greece. Talking about in the 70s, and they would, the time difference, they didn't understand the time, and they would call us in the middle of the night. And it will wake up the whole house. And I would always hear when it rings, my mom would jump out of bed, run to the kitchen, and answer it. Me and my brothers talk about that. It's hilarious. We don't say anything to her. Anyway, so we've had those phones for a long time. We held on to them until, I believe, when we moved. Yeah. We had rotary phones. What's rotary? You had rotary phones, yeah. Not push button. I think sometime in the late 80s, we got an extra phone. It was push button. We put it in the bedroom. Thank God. We did that. So we do that for privacy. What's funny about the phones, like if someone come over, they want to borrow the phone, can I make a call? Can I make a call? Like that. What else? We didn't have party lines. We didn't have that. No. Let's see. And so when we moved out in '95, we left the phones. We left the phones. I visited the house about 10 years later over there. The man let me in, and I asked him, "What happened to the landlines? They're gone. We got rid of them." You know. Okay. So when we moved out in '95, then we still had landlines at the time. Cell phones came much later, about late '90s. They were available, but a lot of people didn't have them. It got very popular around the 2000s, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and landlines went down, 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 and that was that. Okay, and let me show you a picture. This is what we had in the kitchen. This was the landline phone. It looks like that. Okay? It's gorgeous. It really is. Okay. Anyway, so sometimes when we were talking on the phones, the landline phones, we were on the floor or, like that. It's kind of funny. Back then, you didn't have cell phones. You couldn't talk in your car. Well, you're not supposed to talk in your car, or you have it with you. It's kind of annoying today, like that. I think the fun part for me was when someone called, you don't know who it was. There was no caller ID, and it was like a guessing game. And it could be, it could be a jerk or be someone we know. That was a fun part of that, When you want a phone number, someone's phone number, you had to write down in a address, an address book. My mom still has those address books, even from the '60s. She still has them somewhere. And I read through one of them. It was kind of cool seeing all the people. Some have died, some moved away, and I'm looking at the old addresses and all that. She was pretty good. She itemized everything and had the phone number. And the area codes were 312 at the time. They covered the entire Chicagoland area. It became 708 for the suburbs in 1989, 90, around there. That's when it did. Then there's more. There's 630, there's 224, there's 847, blah, 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 773. You get the idea. So that's fun. I always post something on Vanna Chicagoland about the landline phones, and people love it. They really do. Sometimes I talk about the Illinois Bell, the Bell Phone Center, and what else? Western Electric. I haven't posted much about that, but I have a photo somewhere. I'll post it later. That was a big factory, a big company. It was located in Cicero, Illinois. They manufactured telephones. They hired a lot of people back then. Oh my God, it really was. And so the Bell Phone Center, it was located at Fort City Mall. I remember that. I remember the advertisements. Robert Williams did a commercial. You can check it out on YouTube. He is there. You would go in there and select a phone. There was Mickey Mouse. There was the round ones. There was one you put on the wall where they had a chalkboard. There were others. The French phones, how classy and fancy it was. I'm sorry. So those, but in the old days, if you want a new phone, you had to call the phone company. You call Illinois Bell. I don't know where you call from. You couldn't call for your house. You're not connected. You have to probably use a neighbor's phone. Or before you moved, you make arrangements for a installer to install the phone. Okay. And then you had to wait, and then they come in, and he would connect the phones. They come out with their tool belts and install them each phone like that. And then he had to go outside and do something to connect it like that. That was fun, like that. Sometimes the phones would be dead, because of bad weather, the storms. It would knock out power. What would you do? They would restore them. You have to wait. You had to wait like that. Now these days, no. I don't know if a cell tower would go down. Maybe once in a while, but you still have phones. But right now, our new phone's connected to the internet. If the internet goes out, we still have our cell phones because I don't, because I have the 5G. It's not Wi-Fi like that. Okay. The other phones I remember were princess phones. That's for teenage girls. They always wanted a phone when they grew up. I never did, but I'm not a teenage girl. So, but they wanted their own phone. I want my own phone. I want my own phone. I had a lot of friends, and they have daughters, and they say, "I want my own phone." And it was like that. It was hilarious like that, and always fighting. Like me and my brothers never fought. Like who would use the phone? We would wait, or we'd ask them, "Can you get off? I got to make a call." Like that. It reminds me of the episodes of Brady Bunch where everyone monopolized the phone, and Mike Brady decided that enough is enough, and he installed a payphone, which I thought it was a wonderful idea. Never happened here. You could. I don't know if you could do that today. I don't think so. Payphones are gone. You wouldn't find it. I found one nearby my house by a Shell station. It was not working. I did find one where I took my brother to a doctor about a month ago. And there was a payphone, and I forgot to pick up the receiver. It's working. Believe it was. Isn't that something? I think I had a picture somewhere. We'll see about that. Okay, and so technology changed. Technology has changed so much. It really has. For communication, we have email, texting. When texting was introduced, I was not a fan of it. I don't like, I don't like that. I still don't really. I got fat thumbs. You could do voice activated. I tried that, but sometimes it gets a little weird. So I like texting, but the more I text to people, the more people answer. They really do. They don't like talking. I like to talk on the phone, but they text. They do answer texts. You got to go with the times. That's how it is. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think what else with the phones. No, nothing. So that was my memories of the landline phones I had in the 70s and the 80s, 90s. So there was a rumor that today's generation wants to go back to the landlines. Okay, that might be a good idea. But you can have both. You can have a cell phone and a landline. As long as it's connected to the internet, that's great. Maybe they use this for privacy. I would agree to that. So, okay. So that's all for this video. I'm sorry for rambling on, but I had a very eventful day yesterday, and I'll have another one today. So busy weekend. I'm exhausted. So I do a recap. I've talked about my memories of the memories of the landline phones that I had in my home from the 70s and 80s, and I will post this video very soon. You can follow me on Van Chicagoland, all social media accounts: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit. What else? Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok. I don't know why I'm not a big fan of TikTok. It's okay, but it's for all I see is dancing. I'm not a dancer. I can't do Greek dancing at all. Forget that. Anyway. So yeah, you can find me there. You can follow. I do a podcast. It's called Van Chicagoland Stories. So you can find them in all the apps. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can find those. Also, you can find them on my YouTube channel, Van Chicagoland Stories, and you can listen to YouTube, and they're all there. Click subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Listen, that makes it easier for people. They had a feature on Facebook where you put podcasts and you put a link. They don't do that anymore. I don't know why they took it away. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. So I'll post something later on today for Van Chicagoland. I still do that. All right. So this is Pico Sanchez, your host for this video, and it's titled Chicagoland Presents, my memories of the landline phones from the 70s and 80s. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. Everyone have a great day. If you want to comment on the video, please do, or comment on my socials. This will be posted. If you like, just drop in the comments. Just do that. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, everyone. Everyone have a great day. I hope everyone please be healthy. So I might do another video soon. I got to think about what I talk about, but I will do one soon. I promise. Okay. Take care, everyone, and so long, and I'll see you soon. Bye.